Can you help me read, Emma P, can you help me read number 1, please?
Identify the parent.
Perfect. Identify the parent function. Well, let me ask you this question. What's the parent function for any quadratic function? Y equals what? What's the parent function? Is that the quadratic function? No, y equals. Yep, parent function of the quadratic. X squared, yeah. Yeah, I think you think an absolute value. Yeah. Okay, y equals x squared is the parent function of all quadratic functions. Can you help me read number 2, please? Delaney. Yeah, so we're going to make a table of values. We know that already. Now, number 3 is brand new to us. Okay, some of you remember this from Algebra 1. If not, here we go. Once we have made a table, we are going to find the vertex. The vertex, this is super important. That's why it's blank on your notes. The x-coordinate of your vertex is negative b divided by 2a. That's how we find the x-coordinate. Once you have the x-coordinate, this notation right here says f over negative b divided by 2a. What does that really mean in plain English? This just means I plug in the what? The x to get my y. Guys, this is a vertex. I mean, there's an x-coordinate, comma, the y-coordinate. The x-coordinate is always negative b divided by 2a. To get the y-coordinate in plain English, all we got to do is what? In plain English, how do we get the y-coordinate? Not the same thing. There's an f of negative b over 2a. So how do we get the y-coordinate?
You equal it to 1.
No.
You times it with
Not times. You're getting closer.
Where?
Nope. You plug in your x-coordinate, guys, to get the y-coordinate. To get the y-coordinate, okay, you what? What do you do? Plug in, yeah. You plug in what you got, okay? That's how we get y. If we have x, we can get y by plugging in the x value. Number 4, can you help me read number 4, please, Hunter?
Identify A, H, and K.
Perfect. Hannah, can you help me read number 5?
What's the transformation from the parent function?
Perfect. And normally in this class we like it to list it from left to right, just so that you guys are in order. Grace, can you help me read number 6?
Making a table of values using the transformation.
Great. Anthony, number 7, please. Great. Number 8, Sydney. Perfect. All right, let's do this thing. Okay. Now, y equals ax squared plus, again, y equals ax squared plus bx plus c is standard form. Okay. If a is negative, let's refresh our transformations really quickly. If a is negative, what kind of transformation is that? Reflect, you're right. Reflect over x-axis. What if an a value is less than 1, like a half, like 3/4? Right, vertically compressed is right. Vertically compressed by factor of a, whatever that is. If a is a half, then it's compressing by a half. Okay. What if a is bigger? You're right. Vertical stretch factor of a. Remember, these transformations will never change, even if later we're going to add on a bunch more different functions. What do the h do? Right, horizontal shift, left or right, depending. Horizontal shift. It can be left or it can be right, depending on what h is. K, what is that? Right, vertical shift. up or down, depending on whatever k value that they give you. Okay? All right, here we go. And let me remind you the non-standard form. Remember this form that we have been studying? Y equals a times x minus h squared plus. Okay, we have studied that already. We graphed that already. Okay, today we're graphing it in standard form. Ax squared plus bx plus c. So, examples 1 to 3, find the vertex, list the transformation from the parent, okay? Graph and find all of the characteristics. Let's define our values. A, I can find A right away. What's your A value? What's your A value? -1. Totally. There you go. A, I can fill that in. Okay, I can fill in A. We found A. We need to identify the parent function. What's the parent function for y equals -x squared plus 4x minus 5? Y equals x squared. There's no absolute value in quadratic, my lovely. Okay. Y equals x squared is the parent. I gave you 5 inputs right there. Let's plug it in. When x is -2, what's the output for the parent? 4. Perfect. Write it in. When x is -1, what's the output for the parent? Perfect. When x is 0, what's the output?
0.
When x is 1.
1.
2?
4.
Perfect. Okay. The second t-chart is for the transformation later. So we got the parent according to our chart. Now it says find the vertex. Vertex. How do we find the x-coordinate of the vertex? How do we find the x-coordinate of the vertex? Plug it in. What am I plugging in? X is -b divided by 2a. What's our b value here? I know, I'm going to pinch it in really quick. Well, this is, hold on. Let me, the screen is out of the view here. So, let me, there you go. Okay, much better. Okay, b value is 4, so negative, that is -4 divided by 2 times, what's your a value? Great, so what's your x-coordinate of the vertex? Perfect. How do we get the y-coordinate of the vertex? All we gotta do is plug that in, okay? So guys, y-coordinate of the vertex is plug that in. Plug that into what? Well, what are you gonna plug that into?
Graph.
What graph?
The graph that you're gonna graph.
What graph?
The graph below.
I don't have any graph below. The below is just a grid. What are you gonna plug 2 into?
Plug 2 into the other side. To y.
The y equals the equation itself, right?
Oh, to find y.
To find y, remember the vertex has an x-coordinate and also the y-coordinate. The x-coordinate is always -b over
Wait, so
2a.
plug in.
Guys, remember this is the equation that I gave you, right?
Yeah.
That has a vertex.
Yeah.
What's the x-coordinate of the vertex?
2.
2. How would you get the y-coordinate of the vertex?
Okay, you're telling us to plug in for y.
Plug 2 in for x. I'm looking for
Y.
y.
Okay, then why did we find out y then?
So y equals, how do I get it? Negative in the front, something square. I see an x. What goes in the x location?
2.
2. I just found it, and it says square. Plus 4 times what? 2. Minus 5. Okay, what's 2 square? What's 2? 4. 4 times -1. -4. Plus 8 minus 5. What's your y coordinate of this awesome vertex? You lie? -1? Okay. That fills in here. You see right there? I have it. What should I write in that? 2 comma negative 1. I got it. I got the vertex. Okay, that's one of the characteristics that you're supposed to find. I can also fill out the h and the k. What is the h value?
2.
Because it says vertex is
8.
h comma. Okay, I have both. Okay, h is 2. What is k?
K is negative.
You're right. Look at that. I can fill it all out. Okay. Transformations from left to right. There's a negative a. There's a negative a of negative 1. What is that? Reflect over x-axis. If you are reflecting over x-axis, what are you changing? All x values, all y values? All what? Why? Because if it used to be opening up, because that's all parabolas. Reflecting means I'm opening. Opening what? Downward. So what are the changing values? Y's. So would you agree that I would take negative 1 and multiply to y's? True or false? True. Okay. Your h value is 2. Okay. Again, your h value is 2. So let me remind you of what this looks like before. Before you had this negative a, oops, you had this equation. Y equals a times x minus 8 quantity squared plus k. Remember this? Today, your a value is just negative. There's not anything besides the negative. Your h value is 2, and your k value is 1. So we took care of that sign. Reflect over the x-axis. What does the h value do? What direction are we going? To the right. To the right. To the right. Okay. Right by how much? Right by 2. If you're moving to the right, what are you changing? X or y? X. Okay, you're changing x. Are we okay so far? Okay. Then what else? What's the k value do? K value will make it down. Down by how much? Down by 1. Okay. Down by, isn't that k value negative 1? 5. K value is right here, hon. Right here. This is k. I'm sorry, what? Okay, yeah, go for it. Yeah, remember, up and down, Hannah, even though our original equation is in standard form, but the transformation is the h and the k. That's why we find the vertex first.
But can I ask why don't we use that equation?
We are. We use that equation to find our vertex. That is not. Remember, Hannah, the only equation that has h and k is this one. See this one right here? That's the only one that has h and k. The other ones does not. If I were to complete the square, Hannah, if I were to complete the square, then that will be placing it in here. But that's not the case. That's why today, you already know how to graph this.
Yeah.
Today, that's why we're graphing it in standard form. Okay? Brandon?
Just say by 2i.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's supposed to be a comma. There. Okay. I'm just bringing this back to remind you. So, Hannah, I'm just bringing this back to remind you of what you already know. Okay. All right. Then let's fill in our transformation t-chart. The reflection over the x, we're going to have to multiply that to the what? So negative 1 to what? X or y? Y. To the right by 2, transform what? X or y? X. Would add or subtract? Add. X plus 2. How about down by 1?
You add 1.
Down by 1.
Then you subtract
Subtract 1 from where?
from the right side.
From the right side or the y side, right? Okay, like that? Perfect. All right, let's change all of my parent chart. Negative 2, I used to have negative 2. I'm moving to the right by 2, so even mentally, where would you be at? 0. Would that add up with the math? Okay. Negative 1 plus 2 is now what? 1. 0 plus 2, quickly. 2. 1 plus 2. 2 plus 2. Thank you. Let's change all the y's. 4 times negative 1 is
-4.
minus 1?
-5.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Negative 1 times negative 1?
-1.
I'm sorry, negative 1 minus 2? Sorry, I said negative 1, but in my head, that's an answer. 1 times negative 1, I should say.
-1.
Minus 1? Negative 2. 0 times negative 1 minus 1? Negative 1? 1 times negative 1 minus 1? Negative 2. 4 times negative 1 minus 1? Negative 5. I have enough dot to plot. Go ahead and plot. Always plot your transform, not the parent, because the parent is not what was the original. 0, go all the way down to negative 5. So here we go. Should this look like a U, guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 1, negative 2. 2 is negative 1. 3 is negative 2. Then 4 is negative 5. What if I graph it like a V? Would that be a correct graph? Incorrect. No. No, no boy, no. If you miss your dot, just make your dots fatter, like what I'm doing. Okay. So now you have enough information to fill out your characteristics. Axis symmetry. Which one? 2, thank you. X-intercept.
There is none.
How do you know?
Because I can see.
I can see is right. Would this graph ever intersect the x-axis?
No.
No, so there's none. Y-intercept.
0, -5.
Good job. Domain. All reals. Range. You're right, actually. It's from negative infinity all the way to negative 1. Do I include 1 or no?
No. Wait,
Yep.
You make it
I do need to include 1.
I have a question.
Yes, Brandon.
Why do we have to write that confusing little box stuff instead of just saying like -1 and below?
Okay. Negative 1 and below.
We can actually write that.
Sure.
That's the way we do it.
Now, but Brandon, dear, if it's a multiple choice, you also need to know the math notation. Okay? Increasing interval. Increasing interval from where to where?
From 0,
Negative infinity all the way to 2. Remember, the axis of symmetry is where it breaks off. Stop. Decreasing. Very good. Rate of change. This one, because it's not a line or is not an absolute value, the rate of change you're going to learn later in higher math classes, it varies. Okay. Is it a one-to-one function?
No.
No. Do we have a minimum value?
Yes, we do.
No. We have a maximum value. Maximum value is -1 at what location? X equals 2. Okay. Okay, I believe we found everything that's asked. Go to number 2. What is our, okay, oh, if you are, I'm going too fast, here it is. Number 2, what's your given, Miss Kennedy, what's the given quadratic equation for number 2?
3x squared plus 12x plus 10.
Beautiful. Great job. Here we go. We're going to start with finding the vertex. If I have the vertex, what do I have right away? A point, an H and a K. And if I have an H and a K, I know it translate right, left, up, down. Okay? So, vertex. What's the formula for the vertex x coordinate? Negative b divided by 2 times a. B value is 12, so that means I have -12 divided by 2 times what? 3. which means the x-coordinate of the vertex is -2. Beautiful. How do you get the y value of the vertex? Plug it in. Y equals 3 times -2 square plus 12 times -2 plus 10. Okay? Now what? Solve it. Okay. Go ahead and solve. You can give me the y coordinate. Once you have the y coordinate, can you check with your friends, please? Because if your y coordinate is wrong, then you're going to have the wrong vertex, and your graph is going to be wrong. Okay, y coordinate of the vertex is, Lena, what did you get? -2. Someone confirm that for me? Yeah, all right. H is then -2. K is then also, what's the A value? 3, okay. I can go and answer one of my characteristics. Yes?
Wait, why is K -2?
Oh yeah, good question. Why is K also -2? Because this is the vertex, right? To get the vertex, we have a formula for the x-coordinate. To get the y for the vertex, we plug it in. So we also have -2. So now we can go in a vertex box and write in, what's our vertex coordinate? -2, -2. And remember, back in the day when we were graphing H and K form, H and K is always the vertex. H comma K. Okay? Okay. Parent function of this given quadratic. Y equals x squared. All right. X, Y. -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Quickly give me the 5 outputs for the parents. 4, 1, 0, 1, and 4. Okay. Transformations. Here we go. I don't have any negative in the front. I just have a 3. The 3 tells me what kind of transformation is that? Vertical stretch. A is bigger than 1. Vertical stretch. Factor of what? Of 3. That means I'm going to take that value and do what on the table? 3f of x is right. 3f of x, or 3 times y. Next, your h value is -2. H value is -2. What transformation is that? H value, you're close. Shift to the left. Shift to the left by 2 units. That means I'm going to change x or y? X. Whoops. 2 units. Ah, not letting me write. So I'm going to go x. I'm going to the left. So can I -2, like that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now I have a -2 for k, guys. What kind of transformation is that? Right. Down by 2 as well. So am I going to change the x or the y? The y, because I'm moving down. So I'm going to go to the y and -2. Okay. All right. Let's change all the x's. If you used to be at -2 and you're going left by 2, where should you be now? Yeah, and math should match up with your mental. -1 minus 2 is? -3. 0 minus 2? 1 minus 2? And then 0. All right, let's change all the y's. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 minus 2 is? 10. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 minus 2 is? And then 0 times 3 is 0 minus 2 is? And then 1 and 10. All right, let's plot those, because those are definitely enough dots for us to plot. -4, I now need to go up to 10. -3 is at +1. -2 is -2. -1 is back to +1, and 0 is back to 10. And remember, this should not look anything like a V. It should look more like a U. Oh, that is some ugly U. Okay. If you miss your dot, make it fat to contain all of your graph. Mine's not as pretty. Okay, let's fill out the chart. Axis symmetry. Quickly, what is it? Yep. Y-intercept. We're going to do the easy ones first. Y-intercept is 10. Y-intercept is when x is 0. We already have it right there. Okay. Domain. We're going to come back to the x-intercept because that requires a bit of work. All real numbers. Range? -2 inclusive to +infinity. Increasing interval. Increasing interval. What's your increasing interval? -2 all the way to what? Infinity. Decreasing interval. The rate of change, because it is a parabola, we're going to say varies for now. Is it a one-to-one function? No. Do we have a minimum value? It's -2 at where? Do we have a maximum value? No. Okay, now, the x-intercept for me, when I look at the graph, would you agree that I can't really tell exactly where it is? So I would have to find it algebraically. X-intercept is when y equals to 0. So that's what I have to do manually since I can't really count. X-int, y equals to 0. So 0 equals, your equation was 3x squared plus 12x plus 10. Okay, so now guys, you're solving for x. You know 3 ways to solve for x. Okay, so we're going to pick this up tomorrow. Wait, let me give you homework. Stay quiet.
My legs.